right, Heather. Thank you for meeting with me today. All right, let's start off with introductions. Your name, major, field of study, age, and how did you get your disability?
Okay, yeah. I'm Heather. I am a sophomore at U of I, and I'm in speech and hearing science for speech pathology, and then I'm probably going to get my master's in special education, and then maybe speech pathology down the line. I was born with a disability, so I have ADHD and dyslexia. My parents were very sheltered of just my feelings or guess in general. They just never really told me. I figured out on my own in elementary school through getting taken out for fluency checks and accommodations and realizing I did struggle with reading and math way more than other students in the class. So then I just asked my parents about it.
All right, great. All right. So, how do you think having a disability affected your experience growing up?
It definitely affected my experience a lot. I think when you're in elementary school or in middle school and stuff and you are struggling, I think it's very noticeable within other students. And then if you are getting taken out of the classroom, you're being separated from everyone else, and they're where are you going, so it's kind of it was a very negative thing, I guess you could say, because in my schools there wasn't really people who had it was either severe disabilities or no disabilities. So I felt I didn't really have a place to belong, because I was well, I'm not that severe, I'm able to do well with accommodations and stuff. But yeah, so it was just kind of hard to find a place, I guess you could say. So I was getting compared to students who were very severe, so I was just but I'm not you know what I mean. It was just very a kind of struggle in that sense, I guess. But
So you talked a little bit about how it affected you in grade school. How do you think, did it get better, or is it getting better high school and college?
Yeah, it definitely has gotten better. I'm very I don't know, everyone does their own thing. It's no big deal. I think everyone has something in their life that they've gone through and struggled with, and honestly I think that makes you a better person and kind of changes your outlook on things. If I didn't have my disability, I wouldn't have found out my passion is really helping people with special ed and special needs, and it's a lot of fun. I love helping people. And coming to U of I, definitely realized there's so many people here on campus with disabilities that aren't severe, or they're moderate or whatever, and I feel I can relate to more people more, and that kind of is comforting too, knowing that other people are kind of in the same position, I guess you could say. So on campus, I'm actually in a club called Eye to Eye, and I'm the leader of the organization next fall, which I'm so excited about. So this organization works with special ed kids in Urbana. So they go to Urbana Middle School. So you pair up with the special ed kids with similar LD or ADHD as your own. So it's kind of cool, because I didn't have that experience, obviously, in elementary school, like I said, where I get to pair up with students and be able to mentor them and help them through their struggle and through the questions and stuff. So really give them a role model figure, and then we do art projects through that. So that really is interesting. So.
All right. All right, so you're a woman. Do you ever feel you face certain stereotypes because you're a woman and you have a disability? Do you have any personal experiences or stories that have affected you?
I don't have too many that I could think of on the top of my head. I think as a woman, people face discrimination a lot. I think people assume that women are ditzy and stuff. So when you have a disability that is a learning disability, it definitely it amplifies, it makes it bigger, you know what I mean? It makes it well, now you have to get over another hurdle, because now you have two, so that part, I guess you could say, is that. But also you can't see mine, it's so it's not I walk in somewhere and they're oh, so it's not but I don't really have too many experiences I can think of on the top of my head. I guess growing up too, my brother has a learning disability, so I think but it's so different between person to person. I'm not as sciencey as my brother, so I think my parents took a different they didn't understand why I wasn't getting stuff that he was understanding, I guess you could say. So I think in general you really have to look at each person as a totally individual. So I don't really have too many.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. How do you what's your mentality about your disability? Do you have a positive mentality? Has it changed over time?
It definitely has changed over time. I think when you're younger, you're trying to find out who you are, I guess you could say, or what you don't really have a place, and I think like that was really hard. And then like getting bullied for like just like for being like the stupid one in the class, which like obviously people with disabilities aren't stupid, but like it was just like you struggle in different ways and it's more obvious. And I think that was really difficult because I was like, oh cool, like this sucks, like I can't even learn this, and people are giving me like crap for it, you know. So that was really hard. Definitely has changed. Like I've like figured out like the combinations that help me best. I do have to like study like 3 times harder, like to just like get below or the same grade as someone that like didn't try as hard. So that's kind of difficult to understand. But now that I'm older, I definitely like see that like it's okay, and like I think it's a pro because like if I didn't do that, like I wouldn't be an IDI leader next year, and like I have an opportunity where I can go over summer to Brown University to meet other students with learning disabilities. Yeah, I'm like so excited for that, so it'll be fun. So I don't know, I think honestly it's a positive. I think it makes me a more well-rounded individual and realizes like wow, there's other things that are going on in the world. So yeah, no, I don't think it's a negative.
Yeah, that's good. How do you think your disability has affected you or will affect you in the future as a woman in like the world, as like a woman going into having a job?
Yeah, so definitely when it comes to jobs, I think it is perceived as a negative. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think, like, if I were to go in an interview, I don't really know if I would say it or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, because it's not, like, obvious. Whereas someone coming in with a wheelchair it's, like, obvious, you know? So I don't know if I would, like, tell them right away in an interview, because I do think it'd be a negative, which is kind of unfortunate.
Why do you think they would consider it a negative?
Because just like from what I've experienced, I guess, like growing up, and then like people's reactions to it. Like if I tell my friends or whoever, like not even my friends, just like anyone that asks, oh, like what's eye to eye, and I'll like let them know what it is, and I'm like, oh really, like you're really smart for someone with a disability. Like I experienced like a lot of like microaggressions, so it's like, but people also like just don't really have the education, I guess you could say, like based on people unless they have personal experience, you know. So I think that is why it's more perceived as a negative always. And they just don't really understand. Like a girl asked me, she's like, doesn't that go away? And I was like, no, I'm still struggling. It don't go away.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just think if there's more education about it, like it wouldn't be so much. But jobs, I feel like it would be harder to get if I'm on applications that like don't have that. Although I do think I'm bringing a different perspective to the table, so I think it depends on the light of like who's looking at it.
Awesome. All right, I think that's it.